So,
okay. Dear friends, member of the steering committee, it's a pity that I cannot attend, but I'm here with Professor Beardmore, one of the main contributors to genetics in the Artemia field. So we are discussing about what are the challenges for the future of this consortium regarding genetics. For example, Professor Beardmore, we think it's very important to assess the intra-specific genetic variability of Artemia species. This is very much in line with the Convention of Biological Diversity and also with FAO desire to have a quantification of Artemia farm types. So, John, if you want to say something at this stage regarding the importance of genetic variability for adaptation, evolution, and survival of Artemia species in the wild.
yes, I think it's very important to have a complete record, if that's possible, of what is there in terms of the genetic capital. That's important, I think, for to have these resources available for possible use, but also important in terms of understanding how these resources came to be, where they are, and what they are. In other words, to have a clear view about the evolutionary history insofar as that is possible.
Yes, perfect. Yes, I think I was, before talking to Patrick Sorgeloos, that this is done not very coordinatedly, yeah? So each group is doing whatever they think is important. So I think we should plan or write a kind of framework of what is needed to do in the future. Hmm?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's good, Gonzalo and John, that you bring it up, because FAO is involved in the International Artemia Aquaculture Consortium. Matthias Hallward will be in the meeting next week. And a former student of John Graham Mayer is now responsible at FAO for genetics of wild species, farmed species. So maybe this is an opportunity to reconsider what John and you and others have started, what was it, 30 years ago with the international study on Artemia, but with the tools and the number of people that are now involved, I think we could be more efficient, provided, I agree what you say, a more coordinated way.
Yes, totally agree, Patrick. I think we have new toolkits now to deal with this in a more appropriate, more modern way. If we, with John, could say something to Matthias and Graham Mayer, we are very much aligned with them. Yeah. So we hope to continue contributing in the future on that line. John, something?
Yes, I agree with that entirely.
Yeah, and well, John was advisor of Graham when I was in Swansea. I recall that. So, okay, I'm really happy to be in touch with our colleagues in Malaysia. And please be sure that with Professor Beardmore, Patrick, we will continue discussing about that, and maybe we can come up with a sort of framework to do a more coordinated activities on this regard.
John,
Yes.
if you have anything to add?
Well, I was just looking at the email from Gonzalo, which lists 5 points, one of which is the one we've just discussed, the genetic characterization. Then there's also reference to control of the reproductive switch in Artemia females, which it seems to me as a practical point, actually quite important. And I think too, probably less important, but nevertheless of great fundamental interest is the phenomenon of the rare males in some parthenogenetic populations. We don't understand how these come about, and we don't understand what the biological significance is, but these 2 points should be resolved, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, very important to that point. And also, I wrote something about taxonomy, species concept. That is something that for sure we need to tackle in the future. We have been involved with Patrick and others. There is certain confusion about the species delimitation using genetics, morphological, or whatever characters. So we need to coordinate activities on that line also.
Yeah. And to come back to the 2 items that John was bringing up, the switch in reproduction, we have now populations in Thailand at 2 sites, in Brazil at 1 site, original Artemia franciscana, but that for the past 10 to 15 years have continued through ovoviviparity. So with the tools we have, most probably we might have some better understanding. And since the interest in Artemia biomass as human food is increasing, it could well be that we better look for that type of populations, of course, under very strict climatic conditions. Because if the population is wiped out every year, it doesn't make much sense to work with one that is restricted to ovoviviparity. And then on the rare males, John, I think after all these years, because the work that you did with Ilias, maybe with Alberto Abreu-Grosbois, but I know that you in a paper with Gonzalo was referring to Artemia sp from Kazakhstan. Most probably, we have now access to the bisexual population in an institute in the east. I forgot the name of the city in the east of Kazakhstan. So we are in touch with 2 ladies there who have a bisexual Artemia population in culture coming from one of the lakes there. So hopefully we will have more information on that also in the future.
Good. Very good news.
Sometimes you need to have a lot of patience.
Yeah. No, but
yes, you've hinted at the importance of food security as something which should have some place in the sphere of operations of this group. I think that's quite important, although anything which has got any kind of possible political connection is quite difficult. And in that respect, caution, extreme caution is needed.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I try always in such sensitive matters to say, let the scientists on speaking terms.
Yes, of course.
Okay, any concluding remark, John, to make?
No, I'm just really very pleased to see this activity going forward, and I hope that the meeting in a few days' time is successful. It has my best wishes.
Thank you, John. Gonzalo?
Yeah, I think the same. I wish you all the best with the meeting. And for me, it was really important to be in touch now with John, because he was also my advisor. So what I learned of Artemia genetics started there in Swansea, and also with you, Patrick.
Yeah.
So this is a very small community, but united. So
Yes.
that's nice.
Well, and that's why, as my concluding words, I think if we can recommend the new consortium to work along the spirits of the international study on Artemia of 30 years ago. With better tools, they will be able to accomplish much more than what we have been able to do, but it should be done a very concerted way.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. All the best. Bye-bye, John.
All the best.
Goodbye,
Yes.
Patrick.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, John. Very nice meeting you. So, all my regards to the family, to Patricia, and a big hug to you. It's really emotional to be in touch with you after such a long time. Huh?
Well, it's a great pleasure for me.
Yeah. Okay. All the
Bye-bye,
best.
John. All the best.
The
Bye-bye.
best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Patrick, for